Alrighty, I want to show you some circuits here, and this first circuit we're going to look at is this first one here, and it is called this or that circuit. So it's literally called a this or that circuit. This circuit is capable of lighting an LED light in this fashion using S1 or S2 by a press button on S2 or a slide switch on S1. So this circuit is capable of activating light in this way, slide switch, or that way, press button. And either one can activate the circuit. Now what's important to know about this circuit, this or that, is it won't be doing both. It'll be choosing to do it this way using S1, but if it does, it won't be using S2, so it won't be doing it that way. It'll be doing it this way only. And if it actually does it the other opposite thing, if it's actually S2 that activates the circuit, then it'll be doing it that way. And that means it won't be doing it this way using the slide switch. It'll be doing it that way using the press button. Now, what's important to know about this is understand that if this S1 represents a masculine male, a husband, look at S2 as a wife. So I want you to see S1 and S2 as husband and wife. The first one is, number one is the husband, and that's the wife. So understand, as the electricity, this is a battery. And so the electricity flows from this battery, which is B1, and it'll flow through a double connection point, which means that these are number 2 connectors. And what that means is that these connectors ensure that electricity has to pass through 2 connection points in order to enter into S1. And there's connectors don't have to be two connection points. They could be 3 or 4 or 5. And there'll be different reasons for that. But what we want to know here is what is the power or the weakness of this circuit. Let's look at the places where this circuit could be in an advantage or disadvantage. Well, let's say that if this circuit represents a husband and a wife, well, then understand, if it's this way using a slide switch, it'll be the husband activating the circuit, turning it on or off. And if it chooses to not do it this way, then it will do it that way, which is the wife. And it'll be using a press button. So either husband or wife could activate the switch and turn the light on. They both have independent power to activate the switch. What's important to know about this is that electricity from the battery is flowing through the double connection point into S1, which is the husband. And so understand that the wife is connected to the husband, who is connected to the battery. So the husband has the advantage here, meaning the power coming from the battery, the power source is connected through the double connection point. And understand, when you look at this, it's a double connection point because there are 2 of them. And understand that the power goes to the husband. So the husband gets the source of the power. Now understand, the wife is connected to the husband, who's connected to the battery. So and the advantage here in this first circuit of this or that is it starts with this. The husband has the first advantage. This is the first possibility. Otherwise, it would be called a that or this switch. It's called a this or that switch because it starts with this. The husband is connected to the battery. So this is why this is first. That will be second. And understand that the wife is connected to the husband. So if the husband lets go of, cuts off the circuit, the husband has power here, because understand, the wife can turn the circuit on if the husband gives her permission to do it. Let's say that the husband says, I'm going to disconnect this point. This connection point here is under the control of S1 or the husband. The husband could prevent electricity from passing through this connection point, and understand that then when the electricity goes in here, it will pass through the circuit this way and go around, but it won't pass this way. And understand, why would you even think S1 would want to deprive S2 of electricity? Well, certainly this circuit says if it starts this way with the advantage of this first, the husband has the power. Well, ultimately the wife's connected to the husband. So if you look at this, S2 is completely dependent on having the circuit work for her. As long as she's connected to him, then she'll be included in the circuit. Do you understand that if you actually disconnect, if he does not allow her to receive electricity, all he has to do is shut down these 2 points. He could say, if I deny you, wife, you'll be isolated. She won't be able to operate the circuit. In fact, she won't even be a part of the circuit. It's under this first one is under the control of the husband, and it ultimately gives him the ability to cut off his wife, basically. So it'll be this, and it's only or that if the husband says it could be that. But it'll be this, maybe this only, and not that ever. If the S1 should decide so, S2 is dependent on S1 for everything or at all, the ability to light the light at all. Now, if you look at this one, this is called a this and that circuit. So these two circuits, now we're looking at them side by side. And this and that says that it can do both this and that together. So this circuit represents this and that represents this S1, the husband, and this S2, the wife. Look at the differences between how the husband and wife are connected to each other. Well, up here, they're connected to each other through double connection points. And understand why the connectors are here. Because the husband having this connection point could actually shut it down and prevent electricity from passing through the connector. And so having this connection point like this gives each one control. The wife has no reason to want to shut her connection points down ever, because if she does, she's only going to cut herself off. If she shuts this connection point down, she's just saying, I don't want to receive power from you or electricity. I won't have the ability to turn the light on then. So there's no reason why a wife would learn to want to shut down her connector points. This says that a wife will not tend to deny her husband or even want to deny her husband by shutting down her connection point. She says, you can't have power, or I'm not giving it to you, or I'm denying you. There's no reason she's going to deny him. In fact, the way this circuit's set up, she needs him. She's going to be he'll be denying her, if anything. And so ultimately, these connectors say that this S1 has the dominance in this circuit, and ultimately S1 will control the circuit. S2 will be dependent on S1 to even be able to operate it. Truly, with his permission, she can operate it just like he can operate it at any time. He can choose to just operate it, and maybe he shut her down, say, honey, take a rest for a while, but darling, I want power too. Well, yeah, if I decide you get it, you'll get it. And understand here, you look here, and you'll see that the husband here in the circuit is not isolated. The wife's not isolated, meaning she's part of the actual circuit. Now this and that ensures the husband can't isolate her through the connection points. Meaning, do you see how the husband and wife are connected here? There's no connector. They're just directly connected to each other. And here, the connectors, they're connected through connectors. Well, understand that here, because there's no connector between them, they can't choose to control each other by denying the other one electricity. If they break this circuit point, the entire circuit won't work for either one of them, which means if the husband tries to shut her down, he'll shut himself down by saying, honey, I'm not letting electricity pass through here. Then she says, darling, then the whole circuit won't work. So if the husband tries to deny the wife by cutting it here, because there's no connectors, here's a connector here, but there's none here. Do you see how they're directly connected to each other? And this ensures the husband may not deny the wife that possibility. It's this and that because the husband doesn't have the power to say it has to be this, but it can't be that. Understand that this ensures that the wife will be hooked to the power. Do you see that S2 here is connected directly to the power? That ensures that basically she can disconnect the power from herself. She could let this power go. Yeah, she says, I'm going to disconnect from the battery. I'm the one attached to it. The husband says, honey, don't do that. If she wants to deny him power, all she has to do is deny herself power. How does this wife deny the husband? This circuit only works because of their cooperation. That's the whole point of this and that together. This and that together it's only because they're in cooperation. This circuit says that they are not going to be able to have power trip over each other. They have to share the circuit, and both of them will work together. Or the only way the wife may deny her husband is say, "Honey, I'm gonna disconnect from this power source, and I won't have any power, darling. But neither will you." So how does the wife have control over her husband? How does she gain control in this circuit? Well, she has to cut the power off from herself intentionally. She has to take her own power away by letting go of the power source, and then her husband will be defeated. So how does the wife actually win in this circuit? She can shut her husband down by shutting herself down. And ultimately, the husband will be mad, saying, "Honey, grab the power. Wifey, you need to stay connected to the power." She could say, "I don't want power, and you don't get it either now." So ultimately, in this condition, the wife can't dominate the husband, but since she's connected to the power, she can ultimately kind of dominate him by denying herself. She's able to deny him, and they'll both lose. So let's say the husband in this condition wants to deny his wife. Well, ultimately, he can't. All that, if this S1 wants to deny S2 the ability to light this LED, understand what the circuit represents: a cooperation between these two. And this says that they don't have to cooperate, but if they don't, neither one of them will win. And ultimately, what can he do? He can basically do nothing except say, "Honey, you need to hold on to the power so I can have it." So the husband is ultimately dependent on his wife to keep the power for him to have the power. So he'll need his wife to be powerful here. It'll be, this husband won't say to his wife, he won't say to his wife, "It's okay, honey, you don't need to have the power." He's going to say, "Honey, if you don't have the power, I'll lose it too." Do you understand? The husband will make sure his wife doesn't lose it.